Hi everybody, today we're going to try to make a maple syrup creme brulee. I say try because I've never made creme brulee and I've definitely never made maple syrup creme brulee, but what better way to try it than with all you guys watching me. So the reason we are using maple syrup instead of sugar, even though maple syrup is a type of sugar, it is alkalining on the body versus acidic like white sugar, and it actually has 2/3 of the sugar content of sugar. So an equal amount of maple syrup and sugar, the maple syrup is going to have a little bit less sugar. So even though we're having some sugar, we might as well have the healthier kind of sugar. Also, maple syrup is rich in both zinc and manganese, which makes it a little bit of a better option. The things we're going to need is 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. I am using Farmers because when you're in Nova Scotia, you use Farmers Dairy. I'm also using 1/8 of a cup of maple syrup. Nope, using 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup. Make sure that you're using pure maple syrup and not maple flavored. This is actually syrup that my dad made from their maple trees, but otherwise just use any pure maple syrup you have on hand. I'm going to be using 2 eggs, 1 full egg and 1 egg yolk. And these little guys are free-range organic eggs. We have 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla, 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar, and this is for on the top to get that nice creme brulee crunch. And for tools, you're going to need a whisk. I've got this funny one here, a measuring cup, some ramekins. I have 3, a mixing bowl, a saucepan, and then a baking dish. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our saucepan. We're going to pour in our cup of whipping cream. Get this carton open. And you're just going to pour the whole thing right in the pan, and we're also going to add our vanilla. Pour that in, and we're going to give it a quick little stir. And then I'm going to move over to the stove top. I'm going to heat this over medium to medium-low heat just until bubbles start to form. While your cream and vanilla mixture is heating on the stovetop, my stovetop is right over there so I can keep an eye on it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start the next part of our mixture. In our bowl, we're going to take 1 full egg and 1 egg yolk, so just the yellow part. So we're going to get rid of all of the egg whites. And we're going to put that in the bowl. And then we're going to take our measuring cup, over here, and I'm going to measure out 1/4 of a cup of syrup. It's perfect. It's just about exactly 1/4 of a cup. And we're going to add that to the eggs. And then we're going to get our whisk, which I left over in my pot, and we're going to whisk this together. It's nice and golden yellow. It's going to look something like this. And then we're just going to sit this aside and wait for our cream mixture to finish heating through. Alright, I've just taken our cream mixture off the heat. Not sure if you can see in there or not, but all the bubbles have started to form. So we're going to let this sit for a couple minutes so that it can cool down, because right now it's a little bit too hot to work with. And then one other thing I forgot to mention, we're also going to need a strainer or a sieve, and this one you can tell has been well loved, and we're going to use that in a couple minutes. So we'll just set that aside for now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take and just pour a teeny tiny bit of this cream mixture into the eggs. And the reason we're just doing a little bit is because we want to temper the eggs and start to bring them up to temperature so that they're warmer. Because if we were just to pour all that hot cream in there, we would get scrambled eggs, and that is not going to be very delicious. So we're just going to very slowly add a little bit at a time. Maple syrup scrambled eggs. And then once you added probably a quarter to a third of the mixture. You can just go ahead and add the rest of it in at once. Pour that in, and we're going to keep stirring. I just want to stir until everything's nice and combined and it looks nice and smooth. I'm going to grab our measuring cup and that fine strainer. What we're going to do is we're going to pour this through the strainer or the sieve so that any little pieces of egg that might have got cooked will get caught, and we'll have a nice smooth mixture. And actually what we have in here isn't even egg, it's little tiny crystals from the maple syrup. Sometimes when you make it at home you do get those crystals in the bottom. And then we're going to go turn our oven on for 325 degrees Fahrenheit. So our oven is on and preheating. Now we're going to take our ramekins. I have 3 here. We're going to put them into a baking dish, and that's because we're going to bake this with a hot water bath. So we're going to fill our ramekins and then we're going to put some hot water into the dish, and that's going to help keep the egg from cooking too quickly, and it's going to give us that nice custard. So we're going to take this, it's about 350 milliliters, and we're going to try to evenly distribute this between our ramekins. I might only need 2. Yeah, I'm only going to need 2. So we're going to fill these up fairly far, because as they cook, I'm told that they actually shrink down a little bit. So I guess my molds are a little bit deeper than the dishes that they were using. So we're just going to take this one out. Okay, our oven is all preheated, so we're going to put in our hot water bath and put our creme brulee in the oven. We're just going to pour this in, and we want it to come about halfway up. Yeah, that looks like it's about halfway. And then I'm going to take this whole thing, I'm going to put it in the oven, and it's going to bake at 325 for around 40 minutes. Just want to keep an eye on it, and you'll know it's done when the top looks fairly firm, but when you give it a little shake, it still has a bit of a wiggle. Okay, so around 45 minutes has passed. I baked them for 40 and they still looked pretty jiggly, so I put them in for another 5. I'm not entirely sure that they're done now, but I don't dare cook them, or bake them rather, any longer. And this is the part that frightens me. I'm going to have to take them out of the dish and on to the tray, and I am an accident prone sort of gal, so we'll see if I can do this without spilling or breaking anything. Oh. Alright, so we've got our creme brulees out of the oven, out of their hot water bath. I'm going to let them sit here for 30 minutes to cool, and then they have to go in the fridge for at least 2 to 3 hours. While you're waiting for your creme brulee to set, if you live in Nova Scotia and are watching this before 4 p.m. on Friday, July 31st, 2015, you can follow the link below in my description or below in the blog post if you're watching this right on my website, and you can go to the Farmers Dairy Facebook page and tell them how you make Farmers Dairy part of your everyday. When you do so, you can enter to win one of their $100 Visa gift cards or a whole summer's worth of ice cream. I know you want to enter, so go do that and then come back and we'll finish off our creme brulee. It's been a couple hours and now we're going to do the scary part, because now Suzi has a blowtorch. Creme brulee always had that nice crusty topping, so we're going to negate the use of the maple syrup by using the brown sugar on top to make our crust. Now you might be able to use stevia for this. I'm not sure how that would work, so I'm just going to stick with the brown sugar. Everything in moderation. So what we're going to do is you're going to just sprinkle some brown sugar on top here. I have the blowtorch. If you do not have a blowtorch or you're afraid to use one, I'm a little bit afraid, but that's okay. You can use the broiler on your oven. So what you want to do is set it on high and move the rack to the highest place you can. Your ramekins as close to the element as possible. If you're using that method, you want to keep a really close eye on them because it's quick for them to burn. Probably 30 to 60 seconds or less is all you're going to need. You are using a blowtorch. Whew. We're just going to take it and then we'll move these aside actually. And we're just going to Are you supposed to get a flame? I'm not sure. Right, I think we're good. Oh, it's a little warm, but I'm going to pick it up so you can sort of see our finished creme brulee. And then when you are ready to eat, you're going to do this actually just before you serve it. You don't want to do this ahead of time. I hope you enjoyed this video showing you how to make creme brulee. If you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please let me know in the comments, and have a great day.